All right, let's go ahead and kick this off. Welcome to Secret Spaces, everybody. Thanks for joining. This is a weekly Twitter space featuring news from around the secret ecosystem. And this is a part two episode. Last week we had part one of our grant recipients, and this week we have the final two grant recipients. We recently rebooted the Secret Labs grant program, and I just posted the announcement, or I pinned the announcement in this space, so you can check that out if you're not familiar with it. But on January 19th, we posted the winners, and today we're going to be speaking with a couple of the teams and hearing about what they're building on Secret. So thanks for being with us. Let's do some introductions. AART team, if you want to just do like a 1 minute introduction to your team, and then we'll go over to the Reclaim Protocol team.
Yep, of course. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Hi, everyone. My name is Yesha. I am a associate at AART. That's the Anther Association Researching Technology. So AART is a, a collection or collective of some experienced people in different areas. So that's software engineering, finance, tech, you name it. So what brings us all together is we tend to work on projects, especially in cutting edge or bleeding edge technology. And 2 years ago, I think in either September or November, I was looking into Web3, and that got me into the secret network. And I was very interested in privacy on a blockchain. Um, Around November 2022, I was the team lead for a project named called Blackjack. Blackjack is a card game on the secret network, so it's a blockchain card game. It was quite successful, I believe, and we had quite a good community, and we really learned some insights on uh, building not just games, but building contracts that employ privacy. And since that time, we've entertained the idea of building a platform where people can play with the benefit of having privacy. And a really good area that is in high demand is in the casino area. So what we are building at AART is a industry first casino. So casino is just a decentralized casino. But um, what really gives power to this idea is the application of privacy. With privacy, not only does it mean you can be secure in your in you can have you can have privacy in your earnings when you win a game, but with secret VRF, you can also have a trustless way of being certain about the randomness and the fairness of your games. And that's sort of what we're going to talk about today, at least myself with with AART. Thank you. That's me.
Reclaim Protocol, I want to do an introduction.
Yes, yes. Um, Great. Again, let me start from the beginning. I am Subhash, one of the co-founders of Reclaim Protocol. Um, what we built is ZK browser infrastructure. You would have all heard of oracles that bring um, all the publicly available data using APIs into Web3. The infrastructure that we have built enables users to attest to their own data on the web and seamlessly port it to any application on Web3 or Web2 in a privacy preserving manner. Um, so what we do is we make the user data, like I said, privacy preserving. The proofs are generated by the user on their own local machines, and we enable differential privacy by using zero knowledge proofs, users can reveal only the data that they want to reveal, and not everything that they see on their web page. We so what we pride in is that so we are able to create zero knowledge proof infrastructure which runs on user devices like mobile devices, and be able to generate these proofs with a web 2 kind of a user experience in less than and also 5 to 7 seconds. So we have an SDK that integrates with the third party applications, and at this point of time, so we are deploying the smart contracts on secret, so we as of today, like, so we have those smart contracts deployed on testnet, doing some testing, before we can make any further announcement. I'll go into more technical details and use cases during this call.
Yeah, sounds good. That was a great introduction. Thanks. All right, so that's a brief intro to both of these projects. Let's talk to the AART team now in more detail about what exactly they're building as part of this grant. So you mentioned you've already built something called Blackjack on Secret, and I think most of the Secret community has probably tried that out at some point. That's still up and running, and that's a card game that uses Secret VRF. It's not like the traditional blackjack that probably most people think of when they hear blackjack, but it is a card game. And as part of this new grant proposal, I think maybe you're also including like the classic blackjack as well. But feel free to just dive in however you want to tell us, like what's in this grant. What all are you building as part of this casino?
Yeah, absolutely. So from a user side, we're building three things. We're building a D casino, which is a platform that will allow you to play multiple games. And the D casino itself is, we hope, it will integrate good KYC, good AML that is still privacy preserving, but basically allows people to play these games with the safety and the knowledge that it's all above board, and that makes the games much more available to everyone. The two games that we're going to pilot with is video poker, which is sort of it's quite similar to well, it's quite similar to poker, right? Um, so we've got an MVP for that already, and we are hoping to start a beta testing program for people to try out in the near future. And indeed, the second game that we're going to release for this grant is a blackjack or 21. So the classic blackjack that most people know from casinos. Uh, what's exciting for us is in frame of a backend team or a dev team. What we're excited to build as well as this is key infrastructure that allows for seamless and quite user friendly experience. So we want for someone to be able to connect to our D casino and not have to worry too much about thing like the back end stuff, quite the stuff that's quite difficult to get into when you get into Web3 or into blockchain, things with wallets and things with viewing keys. We want to integrate it in a way that it's very user friendly, and some of the technologies that we're developing specifically for this project for the D casino, we're sort of using it as a test subject. The two primary ones are a fee grant faucet um, and an alias or like a dummy account. So the fee grant faucet is it gives a fee grant allowance for people who are connecting to our smart contracts and utilizing our smart contracts or playing our games. What that means is when you interact with our smart contracts, um, we will cover the fee, the gas fees, so that you don't have to worry or really know about gas fees if you're someone from outside of Web3. Um, if you interact with our smart contracts, we'll deal with that for you on the back end, and it'll be as though you were interacting with any other Web2 um, application, and that sort of abstracts away that information, that flow from the user. The second thing that we're really keen to try out is an alias. So our smart contracts are made to be quite they're made to be quite flexible and robust with which wallet you connect to. So our smart contracts, they're compatible with MetaMask. They're compatible with Fina, which is a big one. They're quite compatible with Kepler, all the major ones. But what this means is it sort of creates a delta of well, the common thing is that every time you want to interact with a smart contract, there's a bit of tedium where you have to often um, double, well, not double sign, but double confirm just to do a basic task. Like for example, in blackjack, um, we were actually trialing this concept where you have an alias. So every time you want to play your turn, instead of having to confirm with your wallet that yes, I want to play my turn and start the next player's turn, you can create an alias, and that alias um, is a completely it's completely removed from your wallet. So we don't even need to actually interact with your wallet that has your tokens or your information, and we can give that dummy a a fee grant, right? And then that alias is associated with your wallet. So when you interact with our smart contracts are able to know that this alias is associated with your wallet, and that's how we know when you win a game, for example, to send the funds to your wallet. The things like signing are still done through your wallet, so there's still that security and that safety. But it's something that we're really excited to prototype and integrate into this D casino.
That's interesting. So the idea of these aliases is just to
Sorry, I've actually just lost you there. So I can address a question while Patrick fixes his issue. So someone has asked, how do you plan to compete with other casinos in the space? I think I know of three others just in secret, not even mention the plethora of ones outside of secret like Gelato. So yeah, to answer that question, we're a small team. There's no doubt about that. And our focus is on building the infrastructure that makes this stuff seamless. While we are a small team, I very much have confidence in our ability to develop a product that is not only unique but is competitive. Um, when it comes to scalability, we do have experience when it comes in that area, and competition is always good. This is a space that needs different people trying the same thing but differently, and we're not really in the mindset that we're competing. We're in the mindset that we're foraying into a new era. Sorry, area rather than era, and what makes the D Casino quite unique is the use of a secret VRF and privacy in ways that haven't been done before and can scale in ways that what we're creating is basically a template. So our actual goal is not to at the end of this be the only ones making a D casino, but what we're creating is a template for other people to build their own D casinos and perhaps even implement their own changes and their own styles to it. Um, but I hope that answers your question.
sorry guys, I dropped again apparently. Did was it Alex that asked the question after I dropped?
Yeah, there were questions. There is one more. Are there any plans like capping that supply? I'm not sure I quite understand.
Oh, okay, I see you're answering questions in the chat now. Gotcha. I asked a question as well. I'm not sure if you heard me about the aliases, but um, just the idea of those aliases is to improve the overall UX, make it so that people playing the game don't have to sign transactions as often in between turns. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Cool.
That's exactly right. So it's about improving the UX, and the way that we want to implement it is you don't have to do this per contract. When you're using an AART contract, um, it's shared. The alias is shared across contracts. That's just adding an extra layer of of the UX, sorry, the UI.
Interesting. Is that something that other secret gaming apps could potentially use as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We're planning to. So at the moment, we're testing it out on our smart contracts, but we're planning to roll it out as a general service that other smart contracts can sort of take advantage of, because there are a lot of areas where you want the UX to be in like no different from Web 2. The biggest thing, the hardest thing to get people from Web 2 into Web 3 who aren't really technically aligned with how Web3 works is getting them um, to familiarize with that kind of stuff, with the wallets and signing and understanding what they're signing.
Yep.
So if we can abstract that away in a way that's still safe for the users, that's going to help a lot of smart contracts. So yeah, that's definitely something other contracts can use, and we hope to roll it out as a service
Yeah, that's awesome.
once it's tested, of course.
That's awesome. The fewer the clicks, the better. And you also mentioned MetaMask compatibility. Do you currently have plans to have this completely compatible with MetaMask so that, for example, if someone has never used Secret before, let's say they just have a MetaMask wallet with some Ethereum in it, is the goal to be able to onboard them directly? Like, they could just connect their MetaMask wallet and maybe swap their Ethereum and start playing?
Yeah, exactly. That's already something that we were working on with Blackjack. So actually, MetaMask users can use Blackjack. So we'll be able to integrate that into our D casino. And yeah, indeed, the flow is that a MetaMask user connects to Secret, and they would need to get some secret tokens for gas, and then they could play any just as if they had a FINA or a Kepler account.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. I think that's a trend we're going to be seeing over the next year. Any new secret apps that come along, we'll probably try to make sure they're keeping that in mind and making it as easy as possible to onboard people from EVM ecosystems. So that's great. All right, that's a great overview of what you guys are building for this grant. Let's go over to the Reclaim Protocol team. So what are you guys building specifically as part of your integration with Secret? We kind of already talked about what Reclaim Protocol is, and your project has been around for a while now, operating on other chains, I believe. But this grant will allow you to
Right.
integrate with Secret, and I think that will involve some customizations um, that aren't present on the Reclaim Protocol right now. But yeah, just
That's
tell
right.
us what are you doing as part of this grant?
Yeah, Patrick, if you will, I will take like a minute or two just to explain how Reclaim
Yeah,
works, and then jump into the secret
sounds
specific.
good.
That's right. So, like I mentioned earlier, what we're building is a ZK browser infrastructure. What happens is typically, when a user tries to access any particular website, uh, we have the ZK browser on which they do that activity. So let's just say now there is a DeFi app which is trying to enable under collateralized lending. And now it comes to, and Patrick is interested in applying for a loan. He goes on that application and starts filling out details. Then at every point of time, think of this like a typical bank loan application. So where they will ask for Patrick's identity, where does he work, and also things like what is the monthly average balance for the last 3 months. For each of these questions, instead of submitting a paper trail, which is impossible to do in the Web3 world, and increasingly getting also difficult to do in the even in the Web2 world, there will be a nudge where when they click on proof to submit the proof, it opens up the ZK browser, in which let's just say like we have to pull bank account details. So it will open up your Bank of America web page. You log in into the web page uh, in the ZK browser. The attester, Reclaim attester, the infrastructure that we build is acts as a proxy, through which the traffic the entire traffic is going. Mind you, the traffic is all encrypted, and it's all this activity is happening on your own local device. The one thing that happens is the attester attests to the fact that a legit request to Bank of America has been made, and the response that is coming first hits the proxy before it hits the actual front end. So both the request and the response are attested to be legit, and then the particular page where the account balance has to be revealed, so that particular page, the attester shares it with the zero knowledge proof circumcircuit, where the user Patrick so shares the session keys of the data so that the encrypted data can be revealed in this circumcircuit. um, we do a regular expression match of only the fields that matter, which is the statement balance, and not any other detail. So that is how so ZK zero knowledge proofs enable differential privacy. uh, so this selective reveal of data plus the attestations that all this happened in environment which is legit, combined together forms a proof of the ownership or the proof of provenance of the data. That's kind of a ELI 5 or a slightly more complex explanation of how reclaim works. Now, specifically, so this doesn't require anything, to do with blockchain per se. Like it has so the TLS network layer level intervention and zero knowledge proofs for selective reveal. But for a third party app on secret, let's just say like Blackjack, now they want to do age verification or zkkyc. So they are on secret network, so for them to communicate and do a verification, the proof generation happened locally, but the verification has to happen on chain and the data has to be accessed. So this is where the integration comes into picture, where we would deploy ECDSA or an equivalent signature schema, and then we deploy the smart contracts on secret network, so for any of the application to seamlessly interact with the user and access the data and put it on chain. So that's the integration that we are working on. And of course, so we are a enabler of use cases, right? So like I explained, so Blackjack, so they can use Reclaim to enable age verification and ZK KYC. You can do an indirect KYC that somebody holds a Coinbase account, and that's as good as a KYC technically. Um, and then there are applications like Bushy. They're into esports. So if you want users to port the Steam ID, their gaming activity across different games, so that's again enabler. I talked about so DeFi applications of ZK proof of personhood, a whole bunch, social logins, a whole bunch of new use cases that are not previously possible can be enabled with Reclaim integrating with Secret. So that is the whole intent here. So we want to enable a whole bunch of new use cases that were not thought about in the space, that can tap into identity reputation or using users Web2 social data. So I would stop at this point of time and see if there are any questions.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so we kind of saw a similar theme last week with the grant projects we spoke to, where the technologies they were building, they are already seeing use cases that they would fit together and they could like use each other's technologies. And that's something that I didn't even realize hosting this space today. But Blackjack could potentially use Reclaim protocol for their KYC solution. Have you guys considered that yet, Blackjack team? I mean, AR team.
Yeah, actually, we can you hear
Yep, I
us?
can hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have actually talked with Reclaim, and we think that there's potential to be a good fit. And yeah, we think that ZK ZK KYC is actually exactly what we're looking for when it comes to privacy preserving KYC. So that's definitely something that we'd want to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already have a few examples that I can share with you guys. Yeah, and happy to go more into tapping into some of these use cases.
I have a quick question. This is Alex Savash, and I think I asked it to Ruchil before, but for everyone's benefit. So, ZK proofs are kind of confidential by themselves, right? So, maybe you can elaborate a little, like how do you use the secret networks privacy in this context? Like, what is the actual benefit of using specifically secret for your for your technology as compared to a non-confidential blockchain network?
Yeah, so Alex, so honestly, like I'll try to attempt answering this question. So I was not following those conversations, so I come unprepared for this. But let me see. The thing is, when the data goes on chain, like no, so till the part that the user generates the proof and um, ports it to the Web3 applications, it's all privacy preserving. So that part is what Reclaim is enabling. But once
Mm-hmm.
the data goes on chain, now so the user has given the consent to share the data, and the third party application is using the data. And how do the third party application uses the data? And that is where the privacy preserving dynamics of the data comes into picture, and that's where so I believe uh, applications that are specifically deploying on secret network can still keep this differential privacy uh, uh, continue managing this differential privacy. Like so, in the example that I mentioned previously, so yes, we have revealed that Patrick has so identity is so and so, or they have a Coinbase account, which is the KYC, and they have a bank balance of more than $10,000, something like that. Now, once this data is on chain, um, it's only a blockchain like so the enabler like secret, so that keeps it privacy preserving. Than any other regular EVM blockchain. That's a kind of a generic answer, like so I may be able to probably put a blog and share on specifically so how reclaim reclaim and secret can enable this the privacy of user data for a longer period of time.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. I think a blog, will be great. And I agree. I mean, as far as I understand, as I understood it from, initial conversations, that exactly as I said, I can prove I'm over 21, but on a regular blockchain, like everyone would see that. Everyone would be able to see that I have a certain proof attached to my wallet and I'm over 21, or that I have. Well, I mean, being over 21 is probably not a very private piece of information, but holding over a certain amount of assets is. And I think it's super important. Like even though those are zero knowledge proofs and they don't disclose how much funds I've got,
Mm-hmm.
but just the fact that I have funds and I have a proof that I have funds, even that might it's not desirable for anyone in the world to know that I have funds in a certain bank over a certain amount, right? Or even my age or any other anything else. So I think it's really uh, improving the offering in the sense that whatever I want to prove to the world, I still control the information. I don't just shout it out to anyone, but I only show this proof to the people or apps that need that information that I consent to give that information to.
Yeah, definitely. So at a very high level, so we can have some kind of a mixer So that's one thing. But yeah, it still says like so the pool of um data, or the pool of wallets that are there in the mixer, and so all of them are above the age of 21. I think so we'll go deep into it as we explore it further, Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
honestly, at this point of time, so I don't have a great answer for this. But we'll try to put together something and share pretty soon with this group.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So could this technology potentially be used to allow people to authenticate with their like their Twitter handle or their Discord handle, Telegram handle, something like that? Um, maybe verify
Yeah.
that they are who they say they are on those platforms, and then use that to log in or like authenticate with a Web3 application on Secret.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this comes kind of in the arena of ZK login, using a social login to kind of authenticate or access a few things. So that's absolutely possible. In fact, I think so Madhavan, my co-founder, also has written a blog on how this can be enabled. Um, it is one of the strong use cases for this in the Web3 space.
That's awesome.
Yeah. In fact, like one of my favorites is proof of personhood. You know, proving that somebody has taken 25 Uber. And Uber is quite popular for most people, access most of the people. Proving that somebody has taken more than 10 rides in the last year, great. So that's a way of proving that somebody is unique, and it's difficult to replicate it. So that's an interesting way of enabling proof of personhood. Um, so that's one of my favorite use cases. That one of the first things, as first ones that we came across when we started building this.
Nice. Well, let's hear a little bit about the progress that's being made so far. So let's go back to the AR team. What are you guys working on right now as part of this grant? And I guess what is your overall timeline for this project?
Yeah, definitely. So where we are at the moment is our MVP for video poker has been buffed up a little bit, proceed. We're still running testing on it, and very soon we will want to make that testing public. So it will be on Pulsar 3, the testnet, and people will be able to play around. And we'll be making a post probably in Twitter and on our Discord to get people to sign on to our beta testing program. And the benefit of that program is that you'll be able to have a say and have your input on what sort of um, improvements can be made, or what features do you want to see that make sense, or that enhance the user experience. And that would be quite good as well. That's how we generally like to do our testing. We like to get the community involved. It was very successful when we did that with blackjack. Some of the OG testers will be able to attest to how great the end product was compared to when it started out because of user input. So we really value that. In terms of time frame, we're looking to get uh, the beta testing open hopefully by the end of next week. And the main focus for ourselves right now is actually the casino platform, and that's less to do with the games themselves, but with the onboarding and the user experience, that what we were talking about with the FGF, the Vagrant Faucet, and the Alias, a way to sort of to handle that across different smart contracts, because each one of these games is a separate smart contract, right? So we need like a seamless way to for the user to connect to just one thing, which is the D casino, and then because they've connected to the D casino, it means that they don't have to, do a repeat signing on when they connect to the wallet. Sorry, to to video poker or to blackjack or to roulette or to crash when we add later games down the line. So yeah, our roadmap looks like in the next by the end of next week, we'll be asking people to beta test. And I think there are some questions if you'd like me to answer them. Let me just. I'm not sure that they're showing up, but I can see a notification.
Yeah, feel free to go ahead and reply to those if you see some. I was
I
about.
can't actually see them.
Yeah, I see 5 in the number, but I don't see any new ones since the original 3 a while ago. But that's a good point. Let's go ahead and ask for any questions from the audience. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put your hand up. We'll bring you up, or just type it in the chat if you want to just type it in the comments of the space. And let's go over to Reclaim Protocol. So what are you guys working on right now, and what's the time frame for this?
Great. So the good thing is we are working on Reclaim smart contract deployments, and we have finished that on. We completed deploying on Secret Testnet as of this morning, PST, and we are looking at sharing a demo video of how it works with the team in the next 12 to 24 hours.
Awesome.
So post that, so of course, we will be sharing some documentation on how to integrate Reclaim SDKs, onto any of the decentralized applications. So, and then we'll be doing like a few announcements and community calls, so where we can go over with some of the developers on how Reclaim can be leveraged. So that's something that we are looking forward to do in the next couple of weeks. Again, Ruchil and I, so we'll be working on reaching out to the likes of Blackjack and a whole bunch of applications, where we feel there can potentially be a new use case that can come up, and see like which of the applications that are active on Secret can leverage Reclaim. So that's the effort that we're going to put in the next uh, 2, 3, 4 weeks while this deployment is tested and taken live on Secret Mainnet.
Yeah, if I just want to ask, so
Yeah,
if you're already ready on testnet, I'd be interested, if possible, if we could, I'd be interested in coordinating so that we could even try your APIs,
uh-huh.
so your SDK on our
SDKs.
testnet. Yeah,
Sure.
that would be something I'd be interested in doing after call, because I think a collaboration might be good, and we've already discussed it. Um, yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Sounds like good progress is being made. Definitely looking forward to seeing more from those updates
Yeah.
over the next couple of weeks. I did want to mention that the Q2 grants cohort will be opening up in March. So if anyone is currently thinking about applying to the Secret Labs grants program, definitely start looking into it and reading up on the requirements and what we're looking for. It's not too early to go ahead and start putting together your proposal, because March will be here in no time. So um, definitely check that out. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions you might have about the grants program. I don't see any questions from the audience, so I think we can probably go ahead and wrap this up. Alex, did you have any other questions that you wanted to ask the teams?
No, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say that, we are excited with both projects. The first two projects we discussed last week were more about privacy as a service. Those two projects are, very different in a way, and are using secret network in different ways, both for randomness and for privacy. Very different applications. Gaming is something that has existed, gaming, gambling for a very long time, but it was always hard on the blockchain, and AART is attacking that, and we see there is a huge potential. Reclaim, in my way, has a very innovative model and idea that opens up for some use cases that are clear now, but I think the potential is, big for use cases that we don't even or cannot even think about right now. Like what kind of things people can really prove on Web 2 that can be used in Web 3. So I think these are great opportunities. We're happy to have both projects as part of the grant program, and we'll be providing support and help. And thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the team is very pleased to be included in the first grants program. So we're very excited to continue building, and yeah, we're quite grateful. So thank you.
Well, I'm guessing it looks like Patrick is.
Yeah,
Are
I
you here,
dropped
Patrick?
again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did drop. Yeah. By the way, Twitter Spaces is having issues. Like, I mean, I think people should start thinking about an alternative because it's sometimes you're not heard or things cut out. It's been terrible lately. So I don't know. Anyway, I guess we're wrapping up, right?
Yep, wrapping up. Sorry about that. That was like the fourth time my personal account dropped off for some reason, but the secret account stayed on, which is good because it was the one hosting. So I'm just going to wrap it up from here. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you next week at our usual time, Tuesday at 5 p.m. UTC for another episode of Secret Spaces. Until then, we'll see you in the Secret Network community. Have a good week.
Thank you.